external ear? We'll continue. Now in the external ear, if we come on that extreme side, please come on that side first. Our external ear is made up of two components, we know that. Auricle and second is external acoustic meatus. First, auricle. Remember, once again, if we show the first, we show the second pharyngeal arch. Here I will write the first pharyngeal arch. Here I will write the second pharyngeal arch. The ectoderm covering the first pharyngeal arch will have 3 tubercles. There will be 3 swellings, 3 tubercles. These are called hillocks or swellings. That is the caudal end of the ectoderm of first pharyngeal arch will have 3, and the cephalic end of the ectoderm of the second pharyngeal arch will have another 3 hillocks or another 3 swellings. So let me name this as swellings or hillock. Clear? Very simple. Now what will happen? All these 6 will join with each other and develop into our external ear auricle. These 3 are called mandibular hillocks because it is the name of the first pharyngeal arch, mandibular arch. These 3 are known as the hyoid hillocks, hyoid tubercles, because the name of the second pharyngeal arch is hyoid arch. Mandibular tubercles, hyoid tubercles. Now we show there only, on this side only, very fast I will rub. Now we show the entire auricle developing from these 6 tubercles. Very simple, we draw here. In this way we show lobule. Then we show here at this point we show this triangle, and this triangular piece we will name it as tragus. So let me write this as tragus, and here this is what we show. So therefore next structure which we will show here will be known as the crus of helix. H-E-L-I-X, crus of helix, C-R-U-S. And this structure which we will show here will be the helix. Now these 3 structures, tragus, crus of helix and helix, will develop from mandibular tubercles from the ectoderm of first pharyngeal arch. Remaining 3, what are remaining 3? Here we show. This is how we show the remaining 3. Here we make a small triangle at this point. So therefore this will be known as anti-helix. Very easy to understand, helix. So this is anti-helix. This will be opposite tragus. So this will be known as anti-tragus. And this is our lobule. So the 3 structures, anti-helix, anti-tragus and lobule, will develop from second pharyngeal arch ectoderm, hyoid tubercles. This is the development of auricle. Here we finished the entire development of auricle. Last part of the external ear, external acoustic meatus. So in this external acoustic meatus, after the development of pinna, auricle, the external acoustic meatus, we know that it is the first ectodermal cleft in between the first and second pharyngeal arches from outside. So there will be elongation of, please note down, in this way we show, I will use different color also, I will use different. So there will be elongation of first ectodermal cleft, and here we put an arrow and show here the ectodermal cleft. And this ectodermal cleft will be known as primitive ectodermal cleft between first and second pharyngeal arches. What has developed here on the external ectoderm of the first and second? The structure that has developed will be, this will be external ear, what we have recently developed previously. So the entire auricle is developed externally. This will be primitive ectodermal cleft. How it is converted into secondary ectodermal cleft? Very simple. From here, there will be prolongation of various cells. There will be growth of various cells. These cells which will grow from primitive ectodermal cleft towards, where are they growing? Towards the definitive tympanic cavity. They are growing towards the definitive tympanic cavity. So this will be known as, this growth of cells will be known as the meatal plate. M-E-A-T-A-L, meatal plate. Later on what will happen? Canalization of this meatal plate will take place. So later on there will be canalization of this meatal plate of cells. And as there will be canalization of this meatal plate of cells, there will be conversion of this entire cavity into, now it will be known as definitive external acoustic meatus or definitive ectodermal cleft. So this is the final external acoustic meatus or definitive external acoustic meatus or definitive ectodermal cleft. Then the last segment. Here the meatal plate, some cells of meatal plate will remain, and it will remain as the cuticular layer of tympanic membrane, ectodermal. Similarly, there will be collection of, I will use green color, there will be collection of fibrous layer of cells, mesodermal, which will be known as the fibrous component of tympanic membrane. And later on, there will be collection of the mucous layer of definitive tympanic cavity, which will be the endodermal layer. So therefore, the tympanic membrane is tridermal in development. One important point you have to note down for 1 mark question answer or MCQ, the handle of Malleus as well as chorda tympani nerve will penetrate second and third layer, that is in between the fibrous layer and mucous layer, the handle of Malleus and chorda tympani nerve will pass in the tympanic membrane. And please note down one important relation. This is the sequence which I have drawn here is reverse. Basically the stepes should be on this side, middle incus, and Malleus should be on this side. So this is not an accurate direction. This is just a rough Malleus incus stepes. So basically if you consider the entire external ear, middle ear, then the sequence will be, note this change, Malleus, incus, stepes. You can draw in that way. This was because initially first I had drawn this, and then initially later on I drew this. So please note down this change. Once again I will show you. This stepes should go here, so here Malleus should be there, then incus and stepes. It should be in that sequence. So note down that handle of Malleus and chorda tympani nerve will come in between the middle fibrous layer and the inner mucous layer of tympanic membrane. Here we finish our external ear. Now we come to the developmental anomalies. Developmental anomalies, please note down the first point in developmental anomaly. We can focus here, developmental anomalies. The first point will be congenital deafness. So instead of G I should write C, congenital deafness. This congenital deafness will be because of non-development of otocyst or otic vesicle, or it can be because of non-development of, what is this, external acoustic meatus. The meatal plate, that is meatal plug, will not develop. The meatal plate or meatal plug may not develop. There may not be development of the primitive ectodermal cleft. All these factors lead to congenital deafness. Second anomaly will be, there will be accessory tubercles. In so many persons, many of the persons, you may find there are various tubercles present on the auricle. They are called accessory tubercles. Then third will be the oral fistula. A-U-R-A-L, oral fistula. If we, please come on this side, please come on this side. There may be a canal where my finger is there, between tragus and the crus of the helix. And this abnormal canal deep inside will lead to oral fistula. And the fourth, please come on this side. The fourth anomaly, the last one, will be known as otocephaly. Otocephaly. In otocephaly, the ventral portion of mandibular arches will not develop. And so therefore, the external ear will fuse in such a way that they will develop ventrally and downwards, and they will fuse in front of the neck. Both the external ears have fused in front of the neck, ventrally, in the midline. That condition will be known as otocephaly. So here we finish the entire development of ear. Thank you very much.